The call of the Hawks can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
You're listening to Pod at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson on Inside Arkansas.
Welcome in to the Pod at the Palace post-game live reaction show presented by SARACEN, Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. Curtis Wilkerson, Andrew Ellis here with you tonight, following Arkansas's 117-115 double overtime loss at Alabama. The game of the year, one of the better games that I've seen covering the Razorbacks. This is going to be a really, really tough one to do a post-game show on. Arkansas is a better basketball team. If they were at full strength, they would have won this game, but they weren't. Darius Acuff with 49 points, just a phenom-like effort in a game where there better not be any slander about that man from these draft nerds on Twitter anymore. But Arkansas loses the basketball game, went into it with a 7-man rotation, 4 guys fouled out, Elmer Zafich and Jaden Carletwa. Credit to them for coming in that spot and doing the things that they did. Some misses there at the end by Malik Ewan. Arkansas had a chance to tie it or win it at the end of double overtime. They didn't. No moral victories, but a hell of an effort. Arkansas falls in Tuscaloosa again.
Yeah, Curtis, you're going to have to hold me accountable because I don't really want to be the moral victory guy that's like, come on, guys, that was a good effort. But,
it was.
You know what I mean? It really was an outstanding game where really I don't think you could look at either team and be like, oh, those guys choked or, oh, those guys came up short. Like, really none of that. I thought both teams left it all out there, man. I thought it was an awesome basketball game. One of those that you kind of at some point just have to take a step back and be like, you're witnessing something special. Like, this is something cool. And we certainly witnessed something special from an individual player performance standpoint. Darius Acuff, more points than any Razorback in an SEC game, more points than any Razorback on the road, damn near beat Alabama by himself down the stretch. I mean, there was a stretch where Arkansas had Elmer Zafich and Jaden Carletwa on the floor, and I wasn't sure they were going to lose the game. I still kind of, even when Arkansas got the ball down too, you kind of just felt like Darius Acuff was going to will them to victory, and he really almost did. And Malik Thomas was awesome in this game. There were a lot of very encouraging things from that standpoint, but man, it's frustrating as hell to not be able to get that signature win, which this definitely, if Arkansas had come back and won this or had won this game in any way, it would have definitely been a signature win and quite the statement. So I will, once my frustration of losing against a Nate Oates and, you know, kind of missing a huge golden opportunity right there, once that wears off, I think we'll be able to look back and say, man, that was a pretty awesome thing that we got to witness. Yeah,
no, it was certainly an awesome game. Very frustrating that it never goes Arkansas's way in Tuscaloosa. It's a compound of things. And hell, we might be on here for 4 hours tonight. I mean, that was ridiculous. There's so many things to get into. Certainly Acuff, but you can't go on the road to a place like that with 7 players. And the injury stuff, tried to tell you, like that came in very, very costly for Arkansas. Had they had Carter Knox or Isaiah Sealy, Arkansas wins that game, probably in regulation. But they didn't. Injuries happen. Tough deal. Foul trouble killed him, man. You know, I thought it was going to be fatigue when Arkansas blew I shouldn't say blew because it's kind of what Alabama does. The 14-point lead evaporates in the second half, and Alabama gets up on them. Kind of felt like they were completely out of gas, but man, they willed themselves back. Acuff made big shot after big shot. Billy was awesome. DJ hit a big 3. I mean, they just kept coming. But eventually you run out of bullets in the gun. And you got 3 scholarship players out there on the floor at the end of overtime, and you take it to the final possession in double OT. Like, I can't be very mad at Arkansas about this. 34-19 free throw deficit. I think it was 20-5 there at the end of regulation. I know that's something that's very frustrating for Razorback fans in there. I don't blame you if you feel that way. What can you say? I mean, it stinks, man. That one really, really stings.
It really does. And, you know, I think the officiating side of that, certainly a conversation that you can have. And I don't blame fans for being frustrated about it. But I also think it's kind of almost like boring to talk about at points where we're just going to sit there and, you know, nitpick every foul or whatever. But I do think that you got to give credit to Bama. I mean, what happened during Arkansas, you know, quote unquote, blowing that 12-point lead was Bama just hit 9 straight shots.
Well, Bama hit 9 straight shots, and Darius Acuff didn't take a shot for 7 minutes, which is
for sure
absolutely egregious. It's unbelievable that happened in a game where he scores 50. He goes 7 minutes without taking a single shot.
Yeah, I wonder if that was just maybe a fatigue thing, if he was just like, hey, or maybe they just kind of knew, hey, there's going to have to be a stretch in this game where he can't, dominate the ball every possession. But yeah, because I really didn't think Bama did anything crazy to like force the ball out of his hands or anything. So it's very, very weird. But yeah, Arkansas, it felt like early on, every time Bama was making those runs, Acuff or Thomas would hit a humongous shot and stretch that lead right back up to 12 or 13. And you just felt like they were going to survive. And man, I can't believe that Acuff and Richmond had anything left in the tank going into that second overtime. And then eventually, of course, Billy fouled out. But Richmond came out for a little bit because he had some foul trouble. But both of those guys were just, Acuff literally did not leave the floor. It's just unbelievable. And you kind of knew the further this game goes, this doesn't benefit Arkansas. Overtime typically benefits the home team. It definitely benefits the home team whenever the opposing team has 5 scholarship players, and then one of those guys fouls out. So, yeah, there was a lot of things that Arkansas had to overcome, and they didn't quite overcome it all to win. But I also am still kind of marveling at how much Arkansas was able to persevere through a lot of different things in this game. And I think Arkansas is going to be disappointed in that locker room, as they should. But I think these are the kinds of games we always use the terms prepare you for March, and they kind of show you what you're about, and your character kind of shows up in a game like this. I think there are a lot of guys in this Razorback locker room, one that can look in the mirror and feel good about what they did, but also guys like Ewan or Pringle or whoever that maybe or DJ Wagner that really didn't feel like they contributed a ton of this game. This is the time for them to also look in the mirror and be like, damn, we had one guy that's like leaving it all out there playing every minute, and I can't grab a rebound, I can't finish a dunk. I think these are the games that put up a mirror next to your team, and I think it's good for Arkansas. And so I'm interested to see how they come out of it. Although I am very worried about Saturday for how those legs are going to look.
Yeah, they're going to be non-existent. This is the type of game that beats you twice. Acuff played 50 minutes. Brazil played 47. They're probably not going to have Knox back. I don't know what it's going to look like with Sealy. And it's a Wednesday game, so it's the quicker turnaround on here. So that Missouri game is going to be live. We'll see what type of gas they have in the tank. They're going to have to rally. Those guys who didn't play particularly well tonight, or they're going to need to take a long, hard look in that mirror and be ready to go, because I don't know, unless he's really Superman, and he might be, if you can rely on Darius Acuff to do what he did again. The man is a point per minute for Darius Acuff. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable stuff. And the efficiency was unbelievable too.
It was great. It was great for sure. Philon had 35 for Alabama. They did a pretty good job on Holloway. He only had 15. Aiden Sherrill had the game of his life. That's what big men do against Arkansas, though. Arkansas doesn't have a center on this roster. They just don't. They don't have a competent big man on this roster. 26 and 13 for Sherrill. Without even looking, I can tell you that's the best game of his career. But, man, Arkansas did a great job, I thought, of running Alabama off the three-point line in this game. 29 attempts, it feels like a good amount. That's less than they shoot in a regulation game, much less in 2 overtimes there. The problem was you weren't quite getting enough stops in the paint. I looked up at one point in the second half, and I think Bama had made 16 out of 19 shots in there. They do that to you, but Arkansas just continued to match them. 13 of 26 from 3 on the road, man, and you wind up losing the game. It's just brutal. I really don't know what else to say about it. In a game like this, there's 50 different plays that you could look at, or, every different player who got in the game, you could look at him and say, well, if he'd have done this, or if he wouldn't have done that, or whatever. But there was so much that came down to it. And at the end of the day, Arkansas kind of lost a war of attrition here. They ran out of players. They ran out of bodies, and they lost a 2-point game where they had a shot to tie it or win it at the very end.
And I think that's the most encouraging part to me. Again, not to sound too much like a, hey, congratulations on the effort guy, but the fact that they never gave in, and how often do we see it where, you're up 12 and then all of a sudden it disappears and you're down 3? How often do we see it where teams give in right there? That was a huge moment in the game where, frankly, I feel like a month ago, Arkansas would have quit. They got down by 6 with a couple of minutes left and had to claw their way back into it. That was really impressive. In overtime, you kind of had every reason to believe it's not our night. This just isn't going to be our matchup. This isn't going to be, we've only got 5 guys left. And so that really is, I think, if we're looking for silver linings, that is like the biggest thing for me, is that they never fought. Never quit fighting up until literally the last second when that dunk attempt doesn't quite go in. Like, Arkansas was fighting and scratching and clawing for everything. which is very encouraging to see. And I think that this is not a sustainable formula. Obviously, Arkansas playing with basically a 6-7 man rotation.
Well, they better get used to it.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can get at least Sealy back for that game Saturday. I don't even know what the timeline is going to look like for Carter or what, but this is it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to respond. Obviously, Saturday is a quick turnaround, but is there anything that this team can take from this of like does this bring them together? Does it push them apart? Is this something that breaks them, or does this leave them kind of itching for something more and itching to kind of get over that hump?
I think they could take that. If they get their wings back, they should just play TB at the 5 for 40 minutes. That's what I would take from it. To be honest with you, yeah, I'm happy that you are. I don't know if we're doing the good cop bad cop thing. I'm pleased with the effort and everything like that. But like the L is the L at the end of the day. It's
Sure.
frustrating that happened. Probably puts you out of contention there for the SEC title race. Whatever. Some people care about that. Some people don't. Missed opportunity for that signature win to bump the seed line, and then you put yourself in a pretty precarious situation for Saturday. So yeah, I think the response here is going to be something that's super important. I don't know, man. Anything else jump out to you from a statistical standpoint, or I think a lot of this is just going to be getting into the chat and letting people react and kind of get it off their chest. But
I mean, like you've mentioned, it's tough because it feels like we're bullying the front court, like we're being mean about these guys. But it's just
they're getting bullied. Maybe we could bully them. I don't know, but it's
yeah.
I mean,
and by the way, I also want to you mentioned playing Brazil at the 5. I do want to separate him from this. Not that he was like great in this game, and he certainly missed his fair share of shots. I don't like this new floater package that he's trying to mix in. But he's at least out there scrapping, fighting for rebounds, blocking shots. That goaltend was a nice little block there.
Good play.
Ewan and Pringle, I mean, they have 3 points in this game. Not that you need those guys to be scorers, but you mentioned Sherrell, how Sherrell's not even a featured member of this Bama offense, but he's able to find his opportunities, able to get his open looks, able to crash the offensive glass, able to catch the ball in certain spots and be effective. You have to be able to threaten your opponent with something. Like Arkansas is never going to be a team with this current team that like runs offense through their bigs, but someone like you and I just feel like should be more effective. I can't believe he played as much as he did in this game and had 0 points.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens. Like, and then Pringle has 3. Like I thought, and this wasn't even close to the worst Pringle game. You know, this is just like kind of a ho-hum effort for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We're going to get to your chats here, folks, in just a second. But first, we got to tell you about our partners over at Fight House, new Fight House gym in Northwest Arkansas. It's the #1 boxing, MMA, and strength training gym in NWA, built for athletes, competitors, and anyone ready to push their limits. From high-energy boxing and MMA training to free weights, elite cardio equipment, sleds, and cross-training, Fight House Gym delivers everything you need to train at the highest level, push your body to the edge, then recover like a pro with our cold plunge and saunas designed to keep you strong and ready for more. The entire team might need to go over there and take advantage of that recovery situation for sure. It's not just a gym, it's a mindset. Fight House Gym is now open at 10131 Webway in Fayetteville, exit 58 off I-49. Sign up today at fighthousegym.com or call 951-623-9745. Step inside and bring the fight. Okay, let's just get into the chats. See what's going on here. Filthy Tom says Ewan slander is allowed indefinitely. You don't have to make it personal about the guy as a human being, but it's what can you say?
It comes back to what Cal said about like, just if we're asking you to do too much, just let us know. Like if you can't do the things that we're asking, like if you don't want to, be a part of winning basketball, if you don't want to, go in there and box guys out, if you don't want to be able to finish through contact, if you don't want to play with any degree of physicality, that's fine. But just why are we doing this song and dance? Why'd you even come here? What was the purpose? You know what I mean? And I feel like you touched on it the other day that Kentucky game kind of sent him back into a little bit of a weird lull because we thought he had gotten out of this.
The weird hole is a nothing burger since. Yeah.
Right. I mean, because you think back to that Houston game, that was before Christmas. From that point, for about 2 months, he was giving you pretty consistent, at least effort, was at least scoring some here and there. I think that Kentucky game where I feel like I'm sure he felt a lot of responsibility. Since then, it's like he's mentally just completely checked out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like that. So 16 points combined over the last 4 games from Malik Ewan. He was supposed to be your offensive big man in there, and that's clearly just not the case. tried to catch that lob there with one hand. Just grab that thing with two, man. And then the play there at the end just didn't get to go. It's a tough play, on that standpoint.
Sure.
0 points, 0 of 4. The bad turnover there. It might have been in the first overtime. I don't remember which overtime it was. It's all blending in together there. Not great defense either. So Cody James says, I echo that word. Acuff and the Hogs deserve that. They did. But Nate Oates in Alabama gets it like they do every time Arkansas plays them in this regime. It's just the way that it is for whatever reason. They beat Arkansas in Tuscaloosa. They beat Arkansas in Fayetteville. As long as Nate Oates has been the coach, Arkansas has beat them one time. And that is very irritating, but it's the fact of the matter. Good on them for getting it done. I got a little bit. I saw somebody say that they were celebrating like they beat the Prime Warriors out there. And, I get it. Like Arkansas had a couple walk-ons, but that was such a good game. Like it was the game.
Anybody wins that game, you're celebrating like that's a.
I would have been celebrating like that if they had their walk-ons in.
100%. Yeah, that's a humongous win, and especially both teams had to overcome so much.
Yeah,
I mean, if Arkansas had won, we certainly this Pod at the Palace post game would be an absolute party.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. New member, Woo Pig Nation, we appreciate you. Welcome. Ryan says TB, Ewan, and Pringle are worthless. You always include TB in these conversations, man. And I don't know what your thing is with him, but was he great in this game? No, not necessarily. But they're just two different levels. Like one of these is not like the other. If you're making these comparisons here, I mean, Trevin had 3 blocks, a couple steals. He was competing in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that you could say that definitively about the Fives, but Arkansas starting center, 1 rebound. I mean, wash, rinse, repeat. That's kind of the way that it works. They had 1 rebound combined against Auburn the other day. They've had games where they've combined for no rebounds and no points, and they play 40 minutes between the two of them. They've just got to get that figured out, man. I've said it a million times. It doesn't matter if they score at all, but you got to be able to rebound and just control some things and be somewhat of a deterrent in the paint. I think Ewan they credit him for, I guess they only gave him 1 block. I thought they gave him a couple, but it's that's kind of been an Achilles heel for Arkansas all season is rebounding and, interior defense and rim protection from their 5 spot. So, Aiden Sherrill, Keyshawn Murphy, last game of his career. Aiden Sherrill tonight, game of his career. I mean, at some point, somebody's got to step up and get some stops there at the 5.
You know who would cook against this Arkansas team?
Any
South
5?
Carolina Nick Pringle.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he absolutely would. Absolutely would. Heartbroken Hog says, I'm sick. Can't believe we wasted one of the best games in Hog history. By the way, that's why I'm so pissed off right now.
Sure.
Because of course, Arkansas's phenom freshman goes for 49 and Arkansas loses the game. It's just the Hog's going to hog type of thing. It had nothing to do with him. Just a very unfortunate series of events that led us to this point here tonight.
The last time we saw a 40-point game for an Arkansas Razorback against an SEC opponent was Mason Jones catching an L against Auburn.
Yep.
There is a weird correlation between great individual performances and gutsy efforts and losses when it comes to Razorback history. It's not every single one. Like McFadden had some of his big games were in wins and all that, but there's a lot of that where you look back in the last 20 years of Razorback sports and historically great performances and players sometimes lose.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. He also says everyone who talked about Carter has much brain. If he plays, we win. What a ref show. Yeah, if Carter Knox or Isaiah Sealy plays, Arkansas wins that game. I don't think there's any question about that. I do think Arkansas is a better team. I know that's always like a haha, you just lost kind of thing. I get it, but play that game on a neutral with Carter Knox available and Arkansas clears. They just do. Oh well. Hickory Hog says could have won this game with just having Sealy available. Agreed. Once it went to double overtime, you could see it coming, but it still sucks. Acuff is special. You could, but they just Carletwood comes in there and he takes care of the ball, makes a decent little play there. Acuff's still getting buckets. They put Elmer in there and he was responsible for one of I think it was the TB basket that they got with that little clear out screen that he set. Yeah. It's like those guys they get A's on the report card, man. I mean, it's such a tough spot to be in, and they did their thing. You just couldn't get the last stop, and you couldn't get the last bucket to go down, man. It's very irritating. Anybody who says Arkansas deserved that, of course they did. Of course they did. Stephen Taylor says this one really hurt. I still believe in Acuff. Yeah,
I believe in Acuff.
No reason to not believe in Acuff. I feel you though. I believe it or not, after what he just did, he was not 100% coming into this game. He just played 50 minutes. Hope he does well Saturday, man. I worry about that piling up on him a little bit, but hey, it is what it is.
Do you want to hear Cal talk about Darius for just a second?
Yeah, sure.
I just thought this was interesting. I don't know what this clip contains, but let's see.
And still did that. And I said, "Do you think you might have to miss this game?" He said, "Are you nuts?" He didn't care, hurt, whatever it is. He was in a boot for 2 days. You see Alabama?
Yeah,
which we did know, but you know, I do like him. You know,
yeah, dude's a warrior. He's gonna be sore tomorrow, man. Like, I mean, honestly, get him in those ice baths. Need him Saturday. Blues chasing blues says, I think we'll be all right, boys. Damn good game. Hope so. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about this like breaking the team or something like that. I'm just worried about them having zero gas against a Missouri team that if they beat you, they might punch their ticket. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a tough one. But
I mean, listen, that is something. I mean, obviously Saturday it's gonna suck, but also we see teams all the time get to the tournament and they've already expended like all of their mental fortitude, all of their energy. It breaks you. It definitely wears on you, and you might not even notice it until you get into these games sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt. T Razorback says, if we don't make the Final Four in 5 to 10 years, we'll kick ourselves for wasting Acuff with this front court. Probably. There's no way you could have known. I don't guess. Maybe they could have overpaid or paid more to get one of those other guys. I understand that, but it's always a hindsight thing. And it looks like you probably missed there. I mean, there's maybe one of them can be the hero in the Sweet 16 or something. I don't know. Like there's still time for that. But at the moment when Arkansas got those two dudes on the same day, you understood the vision, the tough physical defensive player and rebounder that's been the SEC in Pringle, and the skilled big man who can score it and gobbles up offensive rebounds and Ewan. Like it made sense. It just hasn't worked out, unfortunately. Cody James says, I love DJ, but he did some dumb tonight. Yeah, I mean, he did. He made a huge three for Arkansas in there too. Some tough looks there early in the game.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people being like, he took that one really bad pull up too. That was one that it was like truly, and I think you even said you were like, dude, you're a junior. Like you should not be taking shots like this.
Yeah. Outside
of that, most of the threes he took, I felt like he had to take. You're wide open. They hit you in the corner. There's 8 seconds on the shot clock. You've got to shoot, and then he finally made one. But
sometimes I was more upset at Acuff for making the pass.
I would agree.
Like,
actually,
shoot it yourself, my man. But I get it. He was still trying to get guys involved and everything. And at the end of the day, what did DJ finish? 8 points, 1 of 4 from 3. 5 assists, 1 turnover, a couple steals. Yeah,
had a couple steals. He had one very important steal in, I think,
he did.
Maybe the end of regulation or overtime.
Yeah. Woo Pig Nation says, when so many of one team foul out of the game, they talk about how much Alabama practices free throws and shoot around, go Hogs. Yeah, I mean, ideally you're not in a situation where you only have 7 bodies available. Like Kentucky has 3 important players out, but Mark Pope went out and recruited 15 guys. And is that the way to do it? I don't know. It hasn't necessarily worked out for them either, but sure would have been nice to have one more available. Just one more guy available tonight, and Arkansas probably would have got over the hump, but here we are. Donut Boy says Leak's got to work on foul discipline. He hasn't really been in foul trouble all season. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I get what you're saying. He played 37 minutes. Got a little bit handsy there at the end. Probably maybe a little bit of a fatigue foul or whatever, but that was tough when he went out. Honestly, once he got his 3rd foul and came out of the game, I felt like it effectively took him out of things. He was just being a little bit passive at that point. Then you get in a situation where they're attacking you because they know you're in foul trouble. And, you got the couple whistles there, and that sucks.
Yeah, I definitely don't think this is like a big picture issue with Malik Thomas. I will say I was a little bit frustrated with the fact that both of his fourth and fifth fouls came on just like while the screen's being set. You're like putting your hands on him. It's like, all right, that's annoying. And like you said, I think that's fatigue a little bit.
Yep. Centers are trash. Acuff is him. Heck of a game. Sure wish we won. Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, a lot of facts there.
Yeah. Might be Mike. Best game I've seen in a minute. Anyone who says we don't need Carter doesn't know ball. I wonder if Ewan is still a little dazed from that blow. Woo pig suey. We okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. It's Malik's fault tonight. Needs to learn how to not pick up cheap fouls. Yeah. I mean, for 25 games, he learned how to not pick up cheap fouls, but he certainly did in this one.
I wouldn't say that was like a massive. I mean, obviously him fouling out mattered.
Him not being in the game, yeah,
sure, but it's like it wasn't like a. I didn't think that was like the story of tonight's game. Is that Malik Thomas is a big fouler?
I mean, we could say the same thing about Billy. We could say the same thing,
right?
Yeah, but I get it because it's true. Like you played a 50-minute basketball game. You had him in there for 37. You felt like if you just got a few more minutes out of him, they would have won in overtime the first time around or whatever. It did change a lot in terms of they didn't have to guard a couple guys who were out there on the floor for you. But Arkansas was still scoring, man. So I don't know. Oh, well. Paddlefish says Arkansas plus Brazil 117. Alabama
he did tip one in. He's tipped in. I would venture to say 6 to 10 buckets for the other team this year.
Yeah.
It's happened a lot. And then if you count the goaltends, that is one thing I will be mad at Trevin Brazil for. Why do you keep tipping the ball into the basket? That has happened a lot this year.
It has. Yeah, it truly has. Dang, I forgot about that, man. He did. Hickory Hog says, what Acuff and Malik did in the first half was fun to watch. March is going to be fun. We'll be okay once it stops hurting. Woo pig. I hope it stops hurting by Saturday. And I hope that the guys who can't play stop hurting by Saturday, and then we'll be in a good spot for sure. Like it's not going to damage Arkansas at all with their, like their resume and stuff like that. They're fine from that standpoint. That's pretty deflating, losing a double overtime game like that. So, let's see. Let's pay a bill real quick with our friends over at OZK Insurance. We appreciate them. The independent agency that has spiced things up in 2026 with a new full-service mobile app where you can see all your policies under one roof. That's home, auto, whatever it is you might have. You can pay your bills, request roadside assistance, file claims, request policy changes, or even get new quotes, all from the convenience of your phone. If you're tired of being stuck with one carrier or chasing down paperwork, go to ozkinsurance.com or search OZK Insurance in the App Store or Google Play. It's a local agency with national-level options, one powerful app. That's OZK Insurance. All right. Let's get back into it here. Where were we? Colin says, one can only hope this changes Cal's philosophy on how many players we get. It won't. But, I don't disagree. So,
yeah. Which, I mean, and again, you've been saying this for a long time. We have known this. It is just one of those things, man. If you're gonna have a 8 or 9 man rotation, all 8 or 9 have to not only be good, but they have to be available.
Yeah.
And so you just have to kind of know, you can't be mad about it. If you go into a game with 6 players, that's the way it is.
Yeah. That's the risk you run with these type of deals. And listen, like Arkansas is obviously able to overcome it against Mississippi State and LSU. And they damn near did tonight. I was thinking for a minute that was going to be the theme. In the second half when it seemed like it might get away from them and the 14-point lead's gone, they're down by 6 or whatever. I was like, shoot, if they lose this game by 12, we're going to have to spend a lot of time talking about how they just ran out of gas and got in foul trouble and that depth was what killed them, but they kept punching back in the end there. And it legitimately wound up being, you just ran out of bodies there. Yeah. Hell, they were an Aiden Kelly away from having to play with 4. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and in every sport, basketball and baseball, like when you get to the postseason, that depth becomes kind of overrated, where it's like you don't need 10 bodies when you're in the middle of the Elite 8, but you need those 10 bodies to get through the season, to be able to say, hey, you can rest your injury here for a little bit. It's no big deal. Oh, we got a guy in foul trouble. It's no big deal. If Arkansas ends up going to the Final Four with an 8-man rotation, that's going to be all fine and dandy. But on nights like tonight, whenever you're down a guy or two, or throughout the ebbs and flows of a season, that's when you really need that depth. And so, we'll find out if when Arkansas gets to March, they have all 8, and if all 8 are really locked in and playing their best ball.
Yeah, no, for sure. You want to get any of these other clips from Cal? I just don't know what to.
Yeah, I don't know. So John basically said that he's very he says that he's very like short with all of them. So I don't think they're like any super long videos. Yeah. No long soliloquies from Cal.
Yeah, I'm short tonight. I can't imagine how he's feeling right now. Yeah. I'm going to play this one. I have no idea what this entails, but about Bama's offense and then foul calls. He probably isn't going to say too much on that, but I'm just curious.
Not staying in front of people. And you have a guy, we keep saying he likes going left, and he kept going left, and he kept going left, and they kept calling fouls, and he kept going left. So, we know they tried to switch up the pick and roll stuff to slow Darius down. I think he had 50, so I don't, they did some good stuff, and we had to adjust, and we had to put Billy and stuff, and, but fouling guys out, that's going to hurt this team. And that, everybody watching the game, doing the game, you call a lot of fouls like that in a rough game. We're going to be down to 2 and the rent is due. Yes.
We still got a Cal bar. That was actually a bar right there. What do you think? He's not accepting. He's not accepting just, hey, the refs were quick with the whistles. He's like, it's us. We got to. He's going left.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly some of that. Arkansas was dealing with foul trouble, fatigue, all those things or whatever. But I think I mentioned it earlier. But at one point, Bama, they were shooting like 85% deep into the second half. I mean, good Lord, at some point you gotta get a stop in there, man. Mm-hmm. What did it wind up finishing? I don't even know how to look at it. Second half box score. Yeah, I mean, they were 76.2%
for the second half. Entire second half.
For the entire second half, 16-21. I mean,
yeah, that's crazy.
It's and Phylon had 19 of them in there. Aiden Sherrill was 5 of 5 there in the second. But yeah, that's tough, man. And they were only 2 of 7 in overtime, so that's nice. But in games like that, it's like one more stop, one more rebound.
Yeah.
One more or one made shot the entire night from Malik Ewan. Yeah. Like that.
I mean, Arkansas made 0 field goals in the final 4 minutes of the first overtime.
Right.
But we're able to make it work because Acuff kept getting fouled. It's like
they jumped up by 5 right away.
Right.
And then
immediately gave up a 7-0 run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Kalen says, man, gosh damn, Malik Ewing, he played effing good, won, and Nick still can't catch the ball. You said Ewan played good?
I don't think Malik Ewan played a effing good one, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. He had 7 rebounds.
Yeah, he did have 7 rebounds. And they at one point did have him listed with 2 blocks. I definitely remember in the first half checking, but either way, he was getting his hands on the ball. But yeah, I don't know. We brought him in to be an offensive center.
Yeah. Yeah, 0 points.
I would have liked for him to get Sherrill even 1 foul.
That would have been cool. Yeah, that would have been cool. Or guard him. Either one of those things would have been fine, honestly. Butterfingers Bar, it's a good one. Yeah. Says, congratulations to the Butterfingers player of the game, Malik Ewan, Band-Aid and all. He couldn't handle a ball all night. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. Like, he went scoreless. It's not all on him, but it's heavily scrutinized when, like the last 2 plays that Arkansas didn't make, that happens. And then the other thing about it is, when Nick goes down, you need Ewan to step in there and be ready to perform. When Billy goes out and when DJ goes out, it's like, okay, we have Darius Acuff, Trevin Brazil, and Malik Ewan, and then a couple walk-ons. And it felt like you had Darius Acuff and Trevin Brazil, so
Yeah.
Oh, Hayden wasted a 40 burger from A-Cuff. Yes, indeed.
Good to see you tonight, though, Hayden.
It was good to see you. Slimly says, remember, kids, the SEC headquarters is in Alabama.
Hey, the SEC headquarters helped Arkansas out there for a second. They stepped in and were like,
Doug
yo.
Shows tried to get you.
Yeah, they were like, you just straight up effed up the review. Like, why go to review if you're not even going to review? Which, by the way, great block by Trevin Brazil.
Great block by Trevin Brazil. And you might as well have just given that to him because it took him about 4 seconds to get a layup on the possession, which is the least surprising thing I've ever seen. Good Lord. John Bell says, Doug Shows and I are going to fight. I get it.
Yeah. Hey, can I quick tell you a story about John Bell? Not this
Sure.
John Bell, but I used to go to high school with the guy who had the name John Bell, and he went by JR. And his dad was an umpire, and he hated his dad. It was a stepdad, actually. And he got rung up by his dad the one time he got in a game, and he quit the team that day.
That's crazy. That's tough, man.
Imagine hating your stepdad and getting rung up. That's a tough one, you know?
Brutal. Mark Rock says, I don't understand why you have 15 people on the bench, but only 7 can play. I'm old and probably don't understand it, but it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, and so that was probably confusing for some folks out there where the talk the entire game was like, Arkansas has 7. They can play 7 tonight, but you see a bench full of players.
Sure.
Cal doesn't recruit a full team. He doesn't do it. He doesn't want to hurt feelings. He doesn't want guys looking over their shoulder. He doesn't want too many mouths to feed. I guess he really got burned by that his last year at Kentucky. They have 15 players on the roster. They have 9 like true scholarship type guys that they're willing to play. And there's a huge drop off after that. Without Sealy, without Carter tonight, that's why it became 7. But like Jaden it played some minutes for him in the past. He's been in the program for a couple years. Elmer, certainly on the team, you know what I mean? He's been a practice squad guy and everything. So they had players available, but he recruits 8 or 9 guys who he has any intention of playing whatsoever. So that's what that was. I could see why because they kept saying that, and I was like, well, it's not technically true, but I understand what you're getting at there. Bo Subtle says Alabama acting like they beat the Lakers. They barely beat 3 rotation players. It's pathetic. That was a hell of a win for Alabama. I'm sorry.
Sure.
It was.
Well, like, listen, the celebration is not a, hey, the team we just beat was at their best celebration. It's a, hey, double overtime in front of our fans. It's Greek night or whatever. Man, we hunkered down and we made the stops. We got a few shots to fall. We made our foul shots. We won the game. It's celebrating what you did as a team together. It's not like the accomplishment of winning on a Wednesday night in the middle of SEC play.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know why. It's not something to be upset about, I guess.
Sure. It was a 50-minute war. And, when Millette hit that 3 there at the end, that put it didn't put the dagger in. It kind of felt like it did.
Yeah.
That was a huge shot. It was like both teams left it all out there on the floor. Alabama just had more bodies that they were able to go to. How many did they play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mostly an 8-man rotation for them. They played 11, but they spread it out pretty good. Amari Allen played 45 minutes. Phylon played 41. Reitzel played 40. So I don't know. They played a good amount. Oh yeah. Tamara, good to see you in here. She says they played hard, proud of them, but disappointed. Arkansas dropped to 17 on Kim Pom. Alabama dropped to 19, even though we lost. A-Cuff is incredible. That's kind of funny, actually. But yeah, that's not, again, like it's not something it's not going to hurt Arkansas's metrics. It's not going to hurt their seed or their resume or anything like that. Hurts them in the SEC standings there. It's still mathematically possible, but I think now you're pretty much trying to play for that double bye once you get there. I've said it already a half dozen times. This will be the last time I say it, I promise. I'm just very concerned about Saturday now because that's on the road, double overtime, grind like that. It's easy to be a no-show the next game. But Cal knows that. The players know that. They just got to get themselves ready to play. Filthy Tom says, yeah, if you don't have a legit big, you're a fraud. Cal told us that at SEC Media Day, didn't he?
He did.
Man.
Maybe we're hoping that Trevin Brazil counts.
Yeah. And, you know, Trevin helps. I don't know. It is a very frustrating deal with Pringle and Ewan, man. Pringle, you know, I thought physically he held up okay, but I mean, he had the and one like very early in the game, and then it was nothing from then on out. A couple tough looks that he tried to have in the post, but 23 minutes, 5 fouls, 1 rebound. That's boy, oh boy, that's a tough sell there as a starting center in the SEC. But there's just no point in trying to replace him when, you know, the other guys not giving you anything either. I mean, you got to have one of them. I was mad all non-conference play because I was like, why can't these guys both play good at the same time? And it was usually one or the other. Now it's neither. So
yeah, it is crazy how simple it really does come down to. You look at every single Arkansas loss this year, and there's at least one player who gave them genuinely nothing. Yeah. And sometimes there's multiple. You know, like the Michigan State game, it was Trevin and Carter who just genuinely gave them nothing. A lot of games you look at it, and either, like you said, either one of those, it's that, and if they both just are competent or even serviceable, give you anything, you win the games. It's unreal.
Anything, a rebound. Man, oh man. Okay. T Razorback says, shockingly, depth matters. This one is on Cal's roster construction. I'm not going to argue with that. I do. Arkansas is going to be fine. You know, this season. I'm actually more confident in them doing something really cool in March or right now tonight than I was before the game, after seeing what Acuff and Leak and those guys are really capable of. They could do something special there. But remember this when we get into portal season and I record a pod at the Palace and say, hey, I think they're a piece away, because I caught so many strays for that all summer long. And this is the reason why I said it. It doesn't mean you have to play 10 or 11 guys every single game and, you know, do the Texas A&M 5 in, 5 out type of deal, but you got to have more options. You got to have more depth because injuries are going to happen. Yeah. In a perfect world, you could play your, like you said, your 8 guys and get through the season and it's fine. And in a given game or in the tournament, that's probably what you're going to do. But when you run into situations like this, you got to be able to have somebody who can step in for you that's not completely overwhelmed. So. Oh, Bo, no moral victories. Hate we lost, but I actually feel better about our future than I did this morning. This team has heart, and I questioned that previously. Yeah, I should have read that before I said my piece there, but no, I'm with you, man. What else happened in the SEC tonight? Tennessee won by
like 20.
So
I saw Hubbard had 35 at half, according to the chat.
Good Lord.
If Auburn loses that game, they're in trouble, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If Auburn loses that game, they're in big trouble. I want to see real quick about the Missouri Vanderbilt game. I hope it goes to triple overtime. Missouri's beating them by a dozen. Of course they are. So that would actually put Vanderbilt in a tough spot. So that would put Arkansas, I think it would be Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, all into a 3-way tie for second. I think is what that would look like in the league standings. And then it would be weird because Tennessee beat Bama, Bama beat Arkansas, and Arkansas beat Tennessee. So I think it would go to who beat Florida, which none of them did, right?
No.
Yeah, no, none of them did. Arkansas will have a chance to, and then it would go down to Vanderbilt, maybe, on who beat them, and Arkansas did. I don't know. We're going to get into some weird tiebreaker stuff is what I'm saying. Yeah. Arkansas will still be technically tied for second place at the end of the night here, 2 games back.
By the way, Keyshawn Hall has 24 points early in the second half.
Fascinating. That's crazy. Do we want Mississippi State to just beat them or no?
Kind of, because it would be pretty funny. But yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, goodness. David says, literally everything went against us and we were right there. No moral victories, but proud of the starters. For sure. Yeah. Ton of respect for those dudes for absolutely battling in there. That's gut wrenching to lose a game where you play like that. And they played well, man. One of those deals. Credit to Alabama, I guess, for winning the game. John says if Vandy loses this game, teams 2 through 9 would all have 8 or 9 wins in the SEC. Yeah. So
fun times.
Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Donut Boy says Florida going to bully our bigs. Probably. Yeah, it's going to be a massacre.
Yeah.
I'm not the game itself, but the rebounding, the paint.
matchup,
It's going to be an absolute disaster. If Arkansas can get 70 out of Acuff and Leak again, it won't really matter. Like Arkansas's guards are better than Florida's guards, but and Trevin can hold up in there fine, but the front court it's going to be a Chinulu is going to stuff.
You literally just have to go
in the locker.
You better hope Carter Knox is back for that one, so at least you can just have him and Billy out there and say, "We're just zigging while you zag."
Yes,
like, you can have your bigs. We're just going to play a bunch of wings. Screw it.
Yeah, I think so. Blake says the heartbreak is so real. Yeah, we felt it before. We have definitely felt it before. Slimly. This is not going to lie. I had so much faith in Acuff. I didn't even realize we lost. It took about 15 seconds for it to process after the game ended.
That's really exactly like, I mean, I obviously, you could tell they lost, but like Arkansas has the ball down 2 with however many seconds left. And I'm just like, they're going to find a way to get this thing done. Acuff started driving, and I'm like, we're going to another overtime. I remember thinking, I was like, dude, we're really going to another overtime, and I don't know how Arkansas is going to get through that. But he just kind of has that feel, man, and that is never really going away.
No. Yeah, it's definitely not. Definitely not. Maybe we need to drown our sorrows in a little blue embers. Sometimes you need a little bit of barbecue. Feel good. I might legitimately go there tomorrow after what we just witnessed. Go check them out though, man. It's really, really good stuff. And if you're listening, you're in the state of Arkansas, you're close to one. They're strategically placed locations throughout the state: Fort Smith, Jonesboro, Texarkana, Little Rock, Hot Springs, and Rogers, and they'll cater for you as well. So if you have a cool wife or wife to be, she might be down for a little barbecue, wedding catered. They'll take care of you there. Business meetings, parties, whatever you might have going on. You see the numbers on your screen. Contact the individual locations for pricing. You can scan the QR code, or you can go to their website, www.blueembersmokehouse.com. That looks good. I should have gotten them mud bugs in hindsight.
That was the one silver lining tonight. Those mud bugs were good.
I know. Derek says, all these wannabe fans that poop talk Carter Knox all day. How you feeling? Learn anything? Good God. Heads up, True Hogs. We'll be back.
Nobody had a better night on the Arkansas roster. Darius Acuff 1, Malik Thomas 2, and then Carter Knox 3. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I know.
His stock went up tremendously tonight.
Yeah. I think it's telling that he wasn't with the team at this game. Stay tuned maybe for something on that before the end of the week. We'll see. Isaiah Sealy, I think they said he had a hip issue going on, but he was jumping up and down on the bench during the game. So hopefully he's at least maybe back for Saturday. That would be an important piece to have. Because, if you just told me, hey, Arkansas has got to play Missouri at home and they're going to have 7 players, I'd say, all right, fine. But after a double overtime game like that, it sure would be nice to get at least one guy back. So we'll see what it looks like there for sure. Bang Geek said pain. Like and sub people. No depth kills. Oof.
We appreciate you, our guy.
Yeah. What do you make of this Bama team?
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. Obviously the backcourt, that's LeBaron Philon, by the way, we kind of glossed over it. Tremendous game. I feel like he really obviously had a chip on his shoulder going into this performance. And there were stretches of the game where it looked like it was going to be just the Darius Acuff's better than Philon, and that's the story of this game. He held his own, and obviously he didn't match him with 50 or whatever, but I thought he was awesome. I don't know. I think they needed a lot of things to go their way tonight. They're such a weird team where they are kind of matchup to matchup, where there's a lot of teams that they pose a lot of problems for, but I don't know if they're going to go on a deep run.
Yeah.
The way they play is weird.
Yeah. They could catch fire. What'd they do in they they played BYU in the Sweet 16 or whatever last year, and they hit 26 threes or something stupid.
Sure,
It was like, okay. And they're capable of doing that. But yeah, they kind of strike me as a Sweet 16 ceiling, maybe type of team. We'll see. Mitch's Britches says, we have Darius Acuff and no reliable big man. That is a tragedy of Greek proportions. Feels that way. When you have Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas, you really don't need much from your front court, but you got to have something.
And that is the important thing to remember, that it's really not like Arkansas needs that much. They just need like 6 and 5 from one of those dudes.
Yep. Oh, Sharkensaw says, I hate the ref combo, but the SEC office literally called in to reverse a review call because they were so egregiously bad. Yeah, that was tough.
That is facts.
Can't argue with that one. I usually don't get too upset about it, or maybe I usually feel like the officiating is bad both ways or whatever. That was such a physical game. Arkansas was really being aggressive downhill and everything. For when I looked up and it was 20-5 with like 90 seconds left in regulation and the free throw disparity, it's like, I mean, come on, man.
26 fouls to 17.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes you see the free throw discrepancy and you're like, oh, but there were a lot of reach-in fouls or whatever.
Sure.
This was legit 26 to 17. That's a lot.
It is. I want to look at this real quick. So second half, 7 fouls. I mean, come on, man. In that second half, like you only got in the 1-and-1.
Yeah. I mean, dude, they were in double overtime in the 1-and-1.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, Trevin Brazil went to the line, and I was like, oh, my God, he has to make this. I was like, this is crazy.
It's kind of wild. I guess I realized that in real time. Hayden would like to invite Doug Shouse to Fight House Gym. Yeah. Understandable. Bo says, need Cal to overreact and go get the 2 best damn 5s in the portal, period. Pay what you have to. Yeah, I mean, it's there's no question it's going to be super, super important for Arkansas to hit on their front court additions in the portal. Arkansas is 0-4 with their portal addition since Cal took over, in terms of, not because like Nelly wound up doing good things for you. Jonas got healthy. Like it was an injury thing, but in terms of going out in the transfer portal and getting guys who didn't come with you from Kentucky and them meeting the expectations they arrived with, they're 0-4. So they definitely need to hit there with the big man. Cause like, you don't want to, you think about some of the guys you have coming in and who you might have coming back or whatever. That's probably going to be the thing that will either set you over the top or be your Achilles heel again.
I just want a stable variable. Like I'll take a less accomplished player, cause like Malik Ewan, he averaged like 15 and 7 or whatever. Give me someone who's averaging 8 and 6, but if they're just consistent,
Yep. Hog Milanese says, we moved up in Torvik and Kinbom. Bama dropped in both. Go figure. Wouldn't it be funny?
The nerds knew this time.
If you wake up and like Arkansas passes them on the seed lines and stuff because of the idiots that don't watch games, and it just becomes a metrics thing. That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
Awesome. Because I guess they have identical records now in SEC play overall. I don't know. It'd be kind of funny. Buster Green says, sick that game came down to 2 missed dunks. This is the moment Cal was trying to train Ewan for, trying to get him used to playing with intensity. Instead, several mistakes, and Pringle with 1 rebound. Yeah, gosh, man. I'm surprised one of those didn't go down. And that's the thing about it, is Ewan's pretty much nails when it comes to catching lobs. You know what I mean? And his putbacks, he's pretty much on point with those. He shot a super high field goal percentage all year. I don't know, just didn't go down in this game. And then Jimmy Dykes said it, he said he was soft. Like that turnover he made, that pass that he made was a very soft pass there in overtime. And it kind of looked like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Didn't work out. Tamara says, Acuff still showed he's better than Phylon. Good game, Acuff.
I would agree.
Yeah. But I would also say that Phylon's happy to hold that dub, though.
since everyone wants to talk about NBA draft stuff, I don't know how there could be a case for Phylon over Acuff as a draft prospect.
There's no way. Yeah, if nothing else, he had to have silenced doubters in this game. Had to have. I mean, good grief. That was incredible. It's so funny that we talked about that in the pregame too. It's like, oh, well, a lot of these other freshmen, they've done the 40-point thing, and Acuff winds up having the
variety too. At the rim, pulling up for mid-range threes, getting to the line. He shot 10 free throws or whatever. Like
1 turnover in 50 minutes.
Yeah. Made some great passes down the stretch too, a lot of which didn't even end up in assists.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, who got some of those looks? DJ had a bunch of, wide open corner threes.
Billy hit about half of the wide open jumpers he got.
Yeah, Trevin 0-4 from 3 out there. Trevin got really mad one time. They just got lost and nobody was guarding him, and Acuff looked him off.
Because he had missed 4 straight threes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then they start dumping into him. Okay, we got to talk about this real quick.
The floaters or what?
Well, that, and when you're going through that stretch where Alabama got back in the game and then took the lead, Acuff doesn't take a shot for 7 minutes. Why was it like 4 out of 5 possessions they throw it into Trevin in the post? What
I guess there was, one of them I remember there being, I think it was maybe like Holloway on him or something.
That's never mattered.
I know.
Oklahoma put Nigel Pack on him.
Yeah. And other teams are just begging you to do some stupid jump hook or whatever. And
right.
Yeah.
Because I love I've defended Trevin more than I've defended any player in Razorback basketball history. But he's not a post up guy. I don't know. That was just that was strange to me. He does his work, at least flatten him out on the baseline or something. But yeah, they kept going in there to it, and nothing was happening. It's irritating. Dre says, Acuff the one of the best pure scorers in Arkansas history, or how close are we till we can have that convo? We're there, man. I mean,
he's very much.
He's
definitely one of. I mean, we can argue about if he's one or not. That's kind of the argument.
Yeah, that was crazy. 49 points, 16 of 27. So, yeah, highly efficient. 6 of 10 from 3. So, what is that? 13 threes in the last 2 games. 13 of 20 from 3. 11 of 12 at the line. I mean, he's good luck trying to defend that dude. That was unbelievable. Played every single minute, every second of that basketball game. The dude's an absolute animal. I want that dude on my team. If I'm doing a college basketball draft, I'm taking him number 1 overall, because kind of like Cal said, he's not missing games. He's not babying himself. He's not sitting out. And he's just a competitor. Dude's unbelievable. Jay Babs says, drop the bag on a Behemoth 5 next season. It has to happen. That's been the glaring issue in Cal's first 2 seasons. And we're seeing the common theme here in the chat, man. Like,
somebody came in the chat just now and was like mad at us for talking about transfer portal stuff. And it's like, this is just the fan base is, making that's them. That's what they want.
What do you want me to do? People are paying money to have these comments read, man. I don't know what to tell you. But people have been mad at us all damn day, so I don't really care.
It has been a very, very, very contentious chat, I would say.
Shocker. Imagine that. I feel contentious after that game. I imagine people feel that way, but that's Arkansas could win a game by 25 points and people will be arguing in the post-game chat. So I'm not surprised. Dre says tonight was tough, but no one wants to see us in March. They probably wouldn't be crazy about it. But they would see one of the worst interior defensive teams in the country and probably not be too worried about it. Like if they've got a big man,
Michigan would like to see you.
Right. Yeah. But nobody wants to see Acuff, and those guys. Arkansas they're going to be very, very dangerous. Nothing's changed, right? Like you look at them, you're like, dang, man, if those guys are rolling, these guys can make a super deep run. But if they're not playing defense, they could lose in the first round. We've been saying it all season long. And even after this game, I kind of feel the same way, but they're capable. Hog Film Room. I feel like I just read this, but I think it's the same thing, just a little bit different. Okay. Says Cal tried to train Ewan to be ready for intensity instead. An inexplicable turnover, 2 missed dunks, Pringle 1 rebound. I feel like we never adjusted our pick and roll coverage. Yeah. And some of these, like we're not blowing off your chats or ignoring it or whatever, but we've gotten a lot of the same things, you know. Like, we get it. We understand for sure. And appreciate you there. Some tough looks, man. Hopefully he bounces back next game. Trey says, I just want consistent officiating. Really wild. Doug has been on the Kentucky game and now this game. I guess he was there yesterday. They do that, though. Sometimes these guys will ref like 5 games in a week.
Yeah. Or did he mean the Kentucky game, like Arkansas's Kentucky game?
Well, maybe. But that was a month ago.
I just meant like it's just like the Arkansas's last 2 losses.
Yeah. Well, I regret to inform you that Arkansas's loss to Kentucky had nothing to do with the officiating.
No, absolutely. In fact, they probably got the better end of the equation on officiating that day.
I would say so. Jason Lasty says, can we talk about Cal calling time as Leak hits the game tying 3? I forgot about that.
I forgot about it too, but I will say it was a little bit of a tough one where like a bunch of things had already happened. There was a missed 3. He gets the rebound. He pulls it out. He had also just passed up on like a pull. Like he had a kind of semi-open look from 3 that he passed up to dribble back.
Mm-hmm.
And so once he dribbled back, it kind of made sense for Cal to be like, hey, let's talk this over real quick. It just was very unfortunate that as soon as he does that, Leak dribbles up and shoots a 3 and, cool.
Yeah. And so I immediately wrote down in my notes when I saw that, I was like, all right, well, what does he draw up? You better let that chalk talk. And Leak got downhill, got fouled, made 2 free throws. So,
Yeah. And then you end up getting a good look for 3 from Mako.
Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. Hog Film Room is back, says, I just want us to focus for 40 or 50. I might not survive a repeat of Texas Tech in the tournament, look better than opponent, lose focus, relax, lose game, or have 7 players and have 4 of them foul out and
I was going to say that's one of the most encouraging things to me is that they didn't, have this 4-minute, even the 4-minute stretch where Bama made a ton of shots. I didn't think Arkansas lost focus. I thought that Bama made some tough shots, and then Arkansas, of course, Darius wasn't taking shots, so I guess that's what you could say. But like, I didn't view that as like Arkansas having this huge roller coaster of a game.
The only time I really felt like they kind of lost focus like they have was that first run that Alabama had early,
very early
at 10-0, and it was like, all right, they're jogging back in transition, they're not getting matched up, like that was kind of a mess. I will say I just do not know how you go 7 minutes without your guy who's going on an all-time heater taking a shot. Maybe trying to get others involved, or they switch defensive, like whatever, but I mean, if you're Cal after 3 or 4 possessions, don't you just say, hey, maybe just maybe we get our best guy a look instead of throwing into the post to the guy who doesn't post up or something. That was kind of weird, but and I don't think they relaxed so much as they probably were showing some fatigue and they ran out of players. But Nick, thanks everybody for being in here, by the way.
Yeah.
Says it's like Cal offered Pringle solely based on his performance versus Arkansas last year, or for his performance as a starting center on this Alabama team that we just watched when they went to the Final Four. It was a big piece of the puzzle for them. He was kind of like their enforcer for 2 years. Like if you imagine the way that Alabama played tonight, Sherrell is a better player than Nick Pringle, but Pringle kind of had that role of just being a big body and being physical with dudes and rebounding, and he did it like a high level, and he had a bigger role at South Carolina last year, and he thrived. And it's it wasn't based solely on that, I don't think, although you'd like to have more of it.
Yeah, it's simple as if he performed to the level he had been doing for 4 years, we would have accepted that. That's what he was supposed to be.
Yeah. Yes. That Bull says Amir was really good DB in football, put his 5'7" self at center, and he gets more than 1 rebound. He probably does, actually, but I get it. Jason says, if Leak doesn't foul out, we see a 2016 Bron Kyrie.
You think because that was pretty much what happened on that play where Cal called the timeout is, sometimes Robin has to come up and hit the shot.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Hogs by 94 says this game will be seared into my brain for a while. Acuff is top tier. Leak and Billy are elite. What's the fifth stage of grief? Get me there, fellas. Yeah, sleep on it. You'll feel better tomorrow, and then we'll see how you feel on Saturday. Just Arkansas just can't seem to beat Alabama, man.
Wow.
A Herculean effort, couldn't even get it done. It's very, very frustrating. It could almost be any other school in the SEC, and I would be less irritated than I am right now. Like,
I would agree with that.
Kentucky or Alabama. If anybody else, I'd just kind of be like, dang, yeah, you know. But no, I'm not happy. Kalen, thank you, says, I meant horrible. Wish we could do free agency. Ewan wasn't even engaged in the game, played with no passion. Oh, I think that's from the one earlier where it was like he played effing great or whatever. And we're like,
okay, meant horrible. Okay. Well, that is an important clarification.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird deal. There's got to be something going on upstairs right now because it's just been a too good of an opportunity for him. You know, like he's been waiting on his moment or whatever. And when you're playing shorthanded like this, they're basically begging him to be able to step in. Like somebody's got to take the production that is left behind by, you know, Carter and these other guys or whatever. I know it's not a lot, but when there's more shots to go around, like Ewan's the guy who he kind of thrives off of that stuff, but didn't happen tonight. That's for sure. Mr. Buckets, I want Kentucky and Bama in the SEC tournament.
As long as they don't do double overtime again, I'll be good with that.
Yeah, I would. Who would you want to play first?
Kentucky for sure, because that's
Kentucky for sure.
It's an automatic get back. I'd be cool. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah. Bo says, does Carter not traveling concern you? Celia was there, but Dyke said no knock. Seems like a more long-term issue. I addressed that a little while ago. I don't know this. By the way, I am not trying to like casually hint at like a very serious injury or anything. That is actually the opposite of what I'm doing. Just maybe be on the lookout for some sort of update on that before the game on Saturday. I wish I could say more medical stuff. You just can't. Hopefully Sealy is healthy and good to go though.
Seems more likely that he will be for Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. Butcher Boy 44. And for what it's worth, you know, Carter was with the team on the trips before. Like he was at Mississippi State, he was at LSU, so was DJ. Sealy was there tonight. So yeah, when somebody's not there, it's telling. That doesn't always mean catastrophe, but you know. Butcher Boy says ESPN already fangirling on Phylon big time. Watch Acuff get screwed out of player of the week.
Now, obviously we don't, you know, we'll see about player of the week. Acuff, nobody should be taken away from his performance, but like, why would Phylon not be getting praise? He played tremendous basketball. They won, and they ended up winning the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And obviously, that's not to say that he played better than Acuff. Obviously Acuff had 50, but it's like, why would they not praise Phylon?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he earned it. He played really well, and they won the game. So I get it. There's a lot of love out there. I'm seeing it on all my notifications for Acuff. You know, for what he did.
I mean, Isaiah Thomas. I saw Trey Young say something about him. Like
Des
a lot
Bryant,
of people have been.
For those who,
yeah.
So, okay, let's see. Bo Subtle says, "What do y'all think about the decision to go for the tie at the end and not end it with a 0% chance we'd survive 3 OT?" That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I honestly think the thought process genuinely was get downhill. Hopefully you get fouled. That's your clearest path. Like ultimately, I agree. You know, like a third overtime probably wouldn't have went well from Arkansas, but I think they probably just thought getting fouled is a better than 50% chance, whereas a 3 is a 30% chance or whatever. That's probably what came down to. But I wouldn't have been upset at all if Acuff had pulled up from 3.
It's true.
But I'm also not upset now.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and look at the coverage itself. You know what I mean? Like, was there an opportunity for the pull up there, even if you wanted to? Because they were probably saying no threes, no threes. You know what I mean? They might have ran him off there. I don't recall. The main thing I remember is the shot and then Ewan trying to put it back there. And then we started the show like 10 seconds later.
Which, by the way, was also part of the equation. It's easier to offensively rebound driving 2 than it is a 3.
Right. Not Bill says the way the game was going, would have loved JK to get the 3 on the last play. Going to 3 overtimes was definitely a death sentence. That would have been awesome. There were a couple times where I just saw him chilling in the corner. I'm like,
he can shoot it, dude.
Need him make this shot.
That would have been, oh my God. If Acuff would have assisted a Jaden Garlett with 3, I mean, that's cinema right there. I think that, frankly, I wouldn't have complained about it in the postgame if he had missed it.
What if Elmer would have got the tip in?
And
we're getting carried away.
We're getting carried away.
No, dude, if Jaden would have got that shot, that would have been awesome. Here's how it probably would have went, though. You remember when me and you drove our butts to Waco for that Baylor game and Arkansas got the free throw tip out and Joey Pinion had the but good, man. Carlett was legitimately, that was awesome, man. Because he played, was it like 3 minutes?
A lot, yeah.
Down there, and he did a really good job, man. That was awesome. And Elmer too. Both of them did well. Let's see. Oh God. Billy says Amber Heard has cleaner sheets than Ewan. Yikes. Stans Van says Doug Shaw is the basketball equivalent of Mark Curls in football. Probably. That's an observant eye there. Landon Jackson says Cal should make Ewan and Pringle sit down and apologize to Acuff.
Yeah, that's probably fair, honestly.
Yeah.
Everybody should, though. Everybody should be like, hey, man, sorry that you don't get to celebrate your historically great night.
Right. Brutal. Green Eggs and Sam. I like it. It says, I know you've discussed if Arkansas went 1-1 in the Alabama-Florida games that you're content. Do you think we have a chance at a 4 seed with that? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Depending on how, obviously the rest of the games shake out and everything, but yeah, getting one of them, it's not mandatory. Nothing's mandatory. Like Arkansas, they're locked, they're fine. But that would, if they kind of like took care of your home games or whatever. Who else do they have on the road? At Missouri
to finish the year, I think.
Yeah.
Hell, I said I'd be fine if they went 4-2 with losses to both Florida and Bama.
Me too.
And I think that would still have them in contention for a 4 seed, especially
around there.
The SEC tournament.
Yeah, probably a 5. The beauty of it is because the one thing Arkansas couldn't do tonight was go and just get absolutely popped like they did in some of those other games. They didn't. So everything on the resume, holds up there really strong. So they came into this game on the 5 line. They'll wake up tomorrow on the 5 line. So a 4 is absolutely still in play. You just can't slip on the banana peel this weekend, man. And if you do, then you're a 6 seed, or you know what I mean? Like it's not the end of the world, but ideally you just wouldn't do that. Okay, yeah, see, we got it doubled up here. Green Eggs and Sam, and then followed up, say continuation of the super chat. Proud of the fight, and honestly, the conditioning of those boys, hell of a game. But still same old pretty good pig. Shout out to my cousin Andrew, and keep it up, Curtis. Thank you. Appreciate that.
We appreciate you, Sam, for sure. And you're right. Pretty good pig it is. It's okay to be pretty good, assuming that your goal is still to eventually be really good and then maybe even great and then maybe even special. But right now, Arkansas is pretty good.
They are. Yeah, they are.
They're on the brink of being really good, though.
They're very, very
when I
close
said they were
to that.
pretty good after the Kentucky game, that was like a derogatory. Now I think they're pretty good. Where I'm like, it's pretty good. That's like Larry David pretty good,
Yeah, that's exactly right. Anything else you want to get into before we get out of here, man? We've made it through,
Yeah. My final thought is going to be reserved for Luke, our Aggie fan, Luke, who tried to come in here and try to double up on his victory lap over their 3-point loss to Bama a couple of weeks ago, where he's like, see, isn't it cool losing by Bama to 3? And
it's not.
I just have to say, Luke, man, the reason you're wrong here is because we are not going to show up on the show tomorrow and be like, how about them Hogs, man? They played great, man. This is awesome. We're depressed. We're going to cry ourselves to sleep. because we want to win a championship, because we have high aspirations, high standards. Curtis is not going to be able to sleep for at least 10 days. So no, we are still not in the same boat as you, and we're going to whip your ass at Bud Walton in a week or so. So all of these things combined, and I'm saying this in good fun, Luke, we do like you, but I did see him a little coming out of the woodwork to try and chat a little bit.
I like Luke too. I do think it's a little bit soft that he's disappeared for the entire week. He wasn't even on our SEC show, man. And then
tough, man.
And then he pops in here now. So that's
Cats
pretty,
by
that's pretty
21
weak,
energy is what that is.
that is Cats by
even
21
Cats
energy.
isn't in here chirping.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, Cats, it would be a very tough look for Cats after what happened to them. But in all honesty, I'm glad to see you back, Luke. It's good stuff. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks, everybody. Sucks that Arkansas lost. Played hard. Darius Acuff is the man. They'll live to fight another day, and that's going to be on Saturday against Missouri. So be on the lookout for that. Out of here for Andrew Ellis and Curtis Wilkerson and intern Gigi and intern Cameron, producer John, everybody. This has been the Pod the Palace Post Game Show. You guys have a good rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow.